All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Race number one. We'll have Giancarlo and Adam Barker on the front row. Rudolf Gunther and Harry Volsmeer on the second row. Andrew Lau, Simon Zierk on the third row. Yannick Gunther, Dylan Steinbach on the fourth row. Richie Joplin and Callie Evian round out your top 10. Dylan Murray, Cody Kennedy starting in 11th and 12th. Brian Hewitt starting in 13th. Nicole Creasel in 14th. Ryan McDaniel starting back in 15th. I can tell you this is Ryan McDaniel's first time on this track. I believe it was also the first time for Dylan Steinbach. There is one or two drivers that said this was their first time on this track that could make this first few laps rather interesting. Drivers taking to the grid here. Looks like Evian will be starting from pit road this morning. And Richie Joplin did not take to the grid. Hopefully he'll be starting from pit road as well. Horse Pace Car leads them around. Go check out the GT3 NSS sponsor, Advanced Sim Racing, on Facebook and at their website. Some awesome sim racing gear. I've had to limit how much I can look at it because drool gets everywhere. Headed down toward the final turns. In past races here, we have seen drivers send it deep into turn one, down into that downhill left-hander, pick up a lot of spots and run away. Will we see anybody make that move here? Things definitely get exciting in that first couple of turns. Don't forget, race one, the top 7 from race 1 will invert going into the second race. Horse Pace Car is on pit road. Giancarlo leads him down. He fires. Green flag is in the air. 3 wide mid-pack. Oh, a little bit of bump in there into the first turn. Andrew Lau slips through that 3 wide situation into 5th. Simon Zierk losing ground on that one. He drops back to 7th. Yannick pulls up into 6th. Some battling going on back behind as well. Ryan McDaniel on the attack. As it looks like Harry has had a problem. Adam Barker has taken the lead from Giancarlo on the first lap. Giancarlo still right behind. And Evian has had a problem at going off track. Coming through the final turns, Adam Barker has the lead over Giancarlo. Ryan McDaniel has gone off track as well. We'll take a look at those incidents here in just a moment. But across the start-finish line, Adam Barker leads lap number 1. A strong start to the morning here Let's take a look at these lap 1 incidents. Harry Volsmir, sends it in, comes across the nose, and one of the Gunthers ends up in the sand. He does recover. Kalievian, who started from pit road, goes through that first turn just a bit wide. And Ryan McDaniel, coming down the hill, just snaps loose, gets it recovered, gets going again. Adam Barker continuing to lead. Giancarlo in second. Andrew Lau has moved up to third. Simon Zierk now up to fourth. Yannick Gunther in fifth. Harry Volsmir, after dropping to the tail end of the field, is on the attack, is already up to 11th. Of note, Harry has had some bad luck at the start of races here recently, but has managed to go on the attack and recover a lot of ground. Cody Kennedy and Dylan Steinbach have had a problem. Richie Joplin is on his way out on track. There's Cody Kennedy. Just overshoots that turn, drifts it through the grass, but recovers without losing any ground. Moments later, Dylan Steinbach in the Mercedes, heading down into, looks like that brake was a little too far to the rear, just snapped loose under braking downhill. Adam Barker continuing to lead, has set the fastest lap the last 2 times by, and is starting to pull a gap on Giancarlo. Barker just set the fastest lap again, continuing to lay down the fastest laps on track. Track temperature has dropped just a little bit, actually dramatically from qualifying, down to 103 degrees. But we do not expect that track temp to stay low as the day goes on. Giancarlo in second, Simon Zierk now in third, but Andrew Lau in fourth, closing the gap. Yannick Gunther in fifth, Rudolph Gunther sitting in sixth. Dylan Murray now up 4 spots into seventh, trying to reel in Rudolph Gunther. Dylan Steinbach, after that incident, back in eighth. Dylan hoping that Mercedes power on the straightaways here will offset the lack of handling that car has. Harry Volsmir, after that early spin, is already back up into 9th place. Last year, Adam Barker was known as the comeback kid. He would have an issue early in the race, charge back for a podium finish. It appears that nickname may now go to Harry Volsmir as he is on the attack. Harry started in fourth, but on lap 1 had that incident, went off track. Already fought his way up to 9th and closing the gap on Dylan Steinbach and Dylan Murray. Yannick Gunther went wide. Rudolph Gunther didn't. That is the one place that track limits have been a problem this morning. Oh, a little bobble out of the leader. The drivers did say the track is slick and greasy out here today. Giancarlo has got some heat in those tires, appears to be closing back in on Barker. Simon Zier currently in third. Hey, good morning, Jonas. Cheering on the Gunthers currently, Yannick in fifth, Rudolph in sixth. Giancarlo right to the back bumper. Harry Volsmir has gotten by Steinbach. And now setting up, he goes wide on the attack on Dylan Murray. Gets a big run out of the turn, looks to the inside on Dylan, and will take seventh place. Rudolph Gunther in sixth, about 9.9 seconds ahead. We've seen Harry run down some big gaps in the last season. Can he do it again here this morning? Richie Joplin did make it out on track, but is about a lap and a half down at the moment. How much ground will he be able to make up as there's a battle on right in front of him? Callie Evian and Cody Kennedy battle it out. Cody moving back into 10th, Evian in 11th, down to the inside. Evian does not have enough room to run it and get as much off the turn as possible. And for the moment, Cody Kennedy will hold on to 10th. Dylan Steinbach just took 8th place from Dylan Murray. Harry Volsmir is starting to reel in Rudolph Gunther. Adam Barker and Giancarlo now battling for the lead, as Andrew Lau has taken third away from Simon Zierk. Yannick Gunther and Rudolph Gunther reeling in third and fourth place at the moment. Richie Joplin has cleared those lead lap cars. We asked the question a minute ago. He was a lap and a half down. How much ground can he make up in the next 9 minutes? And as fast as Richie is looking right now, going into race 2, will he be able to find his way up to a podium finish? Hey, good morning, Kenny. Are you looking forward to tomorrow night Jones BS Racing there, Kenny? Giancarlo all over the bumper of Adam Barker. Oh, Andrew Lau way wide. Will he have a slowdown on that one? That is the strictest point on the track. Simon right to his back bumper may get an opportunity here. The Gunther's right behind, closing in. Well, Kenny, I have a big surprise for you tomorrow night, buddy. Andrew Lau in third, not gaining any ground on the leaders. Now Simon losing a little ground on him. But Yannick Gunther and Rudolph Gunther have just about caught him. Hey, good morning, Martin. We will make sure to take care of that one tomorrow night. Cody Kennedy has had a couple of off tracks that have set him back. He has dropped to 12th. Brian Hewitt sneaking by, now up to 11th. Evian currently in 10th. And let's take a quick look at Cody's last off track. That was a doozy. He lost a couple of spots on it. Coming into the second to last turn, just overshoots off into the grass. Not the first car we have seen overshoot that turn today. The battle is heating up front. Giancarlo still all over the back bumper of Adam Barker. Oh, Simon deeps into one, almost gets the run on Lau there. Yannick Gunther able to close that gap even closer to Simon Zierk. Rudolph Gunther right on his tail. Harry Volsmeer continuing to recover up to 7th place, but still about 9.5 seconds back from Team Gunther. Dylan Steinbach in 8th has not been able to reel in Harry. Dylan Murray right behind him in 9th. Dylan a bit wide. Evian back in 10th as Brian Hewitt on the attack. Cody Kennedy right behind. Ryan McDaniel has had a problem back behind. Let's see what happened. Ryan just overshoots that second to last turn. As we mentioned when Cody did this, multiple drivers have overshot that turn and gone through the grass there. Adam and Giancarlo still nose to tail. Rudolph Gunther has gotten by Yannick Gunther. Rudolph now to 5th. We mentioned in pre-race, Rudolph has been putting in a lot more practice here recently, and it is paying off as Nicole, that's what she said, Kriesel has had a problem back behind. Nice new paint scheme on Nicole's car this morning. Overshoots that second to last turn, tries to get back on track, but loses the back end coming out of the grass. Has to get her turned around and going the right way again. Giancarlo has yet to make an attack on Adam for the lead. Those two have broken away and have a 9-second lead over Andrew Lau in third. Simon Zierk sits in fourth. Rudolf Gunther in fifth is pulling away from his son Yannick in sixth. Harry back in seventh has closed that gap now down to 7.9 seconds, but won't have enough time. And now Giancarlo is on the attack on the bumper. That Porsche definitely has a handling advantage through this tight S section. But the Ferrari has the advantage on the straightaway. Giancarlo has got to make his move in the tighter section of track. Back down the front straightaway, Giancarlo staying in the slipstream. Harry Volsmir continuing his charge. An impressive comeback. These guys have got to be worried about him in race 2. They also need to worry about Richie Joplin, who's been laying down some extremely fast laps. Adam Barker into the twisty part for the final time. Remember, after race 1, we'll have a few minutes, talk to the drivers, then we go to race 2 where the top 7 will invert. Whoever wins race 1 will start in 7th for race 2. Giancarlo taking that turn very, very wide, trying to get some momentum here. But out of the final turn, Adam Barker has the lead. He comes by the pit wall. Giancarlo will not be able to do it. Adam Barker will win race 1 at Interlagos. And they celebrate. Andrew Lau comes home. Yep, there he is. Comes home in third. Let's talk to our top 3. Andrew, a great finish coming home in third. Man, you had quite a run going.
Yeah, it was a battle for Simon. It was pretty fun. I think he had more pace than me, but I got the move done. So, and then I think we got caught up in a little bit of traffic, so I was able to build a gap. But then he started clawing back at me at the end, but we kept it.
Yeah, I have to say it got dicey a few times. He had the run coming down the front straightaway into turn 1. Looked like he was going to get you.
Yeah, he was consistently faster than me through there, but I don't know. He left the door open. I just went in, took it.
Well, it definitely worked, man. A great job. Another podium. Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Doug.
Hey, good morning, JR. Giancarlo comes home in second. Giancarlo, quite a battle, but we never saw you make the big attack to take the lead.
There was never really an opportunity where I could do it respectfully. Just that Ferrari here, Adam put his foot down, and that car in a straight line is just uncatchable. Even being tucked up behind his bumper, he would still pull away from me. So the next race is going to be tough, that's for sure.
It did look like, man, you come out of the corner literally inches off his bumper, and he could just pull that gap on the straightaway, but into the next turn, you would close that gap dramatically. Is there anything you can do in race 2 to mitigate that?
Ideally, just stay ahead of him at the start, I think. Because if he gets by me, I don't know what I can do.
Well, it has been a great start to the season for you, and still another podium finish, man. After the sweep last week, that is awesome. Great job.
Thanks, Doug.
And finally, our winner. Adam Giancarlo said that Ferrari is just, there's not a rally course here, right?
Yeah, just doing a bit of exploring the track.
I see that. Giancarlo did say that that Ferrari is just about unbeatable. You have such a big advantage on the straightaways.
Yep. I really wanted to make sure that I was ahead of him into the after the first lap, so pressured him off the start, and then made sure that I had everything to fight for at the start of the end of the first sector. I just wanted to break up his rhythm nice and early, so he couldn't get in a rhythm and just drive off like he did last week. So just try to dip, get in front of him, and then use the Ferrari's straight line speed just to keep him behind.
I have to ask, going into race 2, you start back in 7th, and we've seen the speed that car has on the straights. It is no slouch through the corners, but can you get by all the Porsches you're going to have to come through to get back up and sweep the day?
It's going to be definitely hard to do. That we're really going to struggle to get past all the Porsches in the twisty bits, but if I can stay behind them, keep close on that bumper going onto a straight, I can use my superior straight line speed to just blast past them on the straights, which is definitely an option. Need to capitalize on the start, just make sure I don't get any damage, and pick people off where I can, and maybe save a little bit of fuel if I'm stuck. Just to maximize time on track and get back up there.
I have to ask, we watched both of you guys up front were extremely fast, but Harry had the problem on the first lap, lost a lot of ground, and charged way back through the field. Then we saw Richie, who came out a lap and a half late, laying down some extremely fast laps as well. Any concern from those two drivers now that they're going to be up in the fight from the get-go?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're both quick guys. Harry's always really quick, as we know, and giving him a lead is always deadly. So, yeah, I think he's starting second on the grid. So, he's going to have clear track ahead, and if he can bolt, then we're really going to have trouble catching him.
I have to say, I think Harry is stealing your comeback kid nickname, bud. But great job this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Hey, good morning, David. Good morning, everybody. We are 20 seconds away from race 2. The top 7 will invert. So Adam Barker, after winning race 1, will have to start from 7th place. And, man, turn 1 here, that can get very, very exciting very, very quickly. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday and ready for some more great racing. Don't forget tonight, 7:30 Eastern, The BRR Cup Series playoffs continue down to the final four. Alrighty, here we go. Race number 2, Dylan Steinbach and Harry Volsmeer on the front row. Team Gunther has the second row with Yannick in third, Rudolph in fourth, Simon Zierk and Giancarlo. Row number 3, Adam Barker starting at 7th, Dylan Murray in 8th, Callie Evian in 9th, and Cody Kennedy rounding out your top 10. Brian Hewitt in 11th, Nicole That's What She Said Creasel starts in 12th. Andrew Lau back in 13th, Ryan McDaniel in 14th, and Richie Joplin starts in 15th. That is peculiar. Andrew Lau finished race 1 in 3rd, but is starting back in 13th. Callie Evian is starting from pit road again. Richie Joplin is on the grid this time. And we saw the comeback charge that Harry Volsmeer had in race 1. Race 2 is about to get really exciting. Can he check out? JR, David, hope you guys are having a great day. Hope everybody watching is having a great day. As always, if you have a favorite driver in the field, don't forget to drop in the comments. Let us know who you're cheering for. Don't forget to hit like, follow, subscribe. Most importantly, hit that share button. Invite your friends and family. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. A lot of YouTube shorts came out over the weekend. A whole lot more coming in the next week. If you need a laugh tomorrow, make sure you go check out the YouTube shorts. You can always use a laugh on Monday. Rudolph Gunther already almost making it 3 wide here. Dylan Steinbach in control. He fires. They are away. Green is in the air. Dylan in that Mercedes. Harry already setting up into turn 1. And that Ferrari is already shot to the lead. Holy cow. Giancarlo sneaks by into 4th. Rudolph Gunther lost a little ground, now back into 6th. Andrew Lau has already snuck his way into the top 10 with Richie Joplin on the bumper. Evian is back out on track. Currently in 15th, right behind Ryan McDaniel. Harry Volsmeer out front, followed by Dylan Steinbach. Yannick Gunther now to 3rd. Giancarlo already up into 4th. Giancarlo came into the morning with the points lead after sweeping both races last week at Algarve. Harry able to put a little distance between him and Dylan through the twisty bits, but that Mercedes has that massive power advantage here. Dylan was able to close the gap just a little bit. Yannick Gunther right on Dylan's bumper. Giancarlo lurking. Rudolph Gunther now back up into 5th after problems on lap 1. Andrew Lau finished 3rd in race 1. For some reason, started back in 13th. Has already fought his way to 8th. Now setting his sights on 7th place, Adam Barker. Meanwhile, Giancarlo battles with Yannick Gunther. And Giancarlo takes it. He is now to 3rd. Dylan Steinbach in the Mercedes has his hands full now. A bunch of Porsches right on his bumper. But Harry Volsmir is loving the battling back behind. He has got a 1.9 second lead. Giancarlo tried to attack coming out of that penultimate corner. Into that final turn now. Just needs to stay in the slipstream. Might be able to make the attack into 1. But that Mercedes power on the straightaway is paying off here. However, the Ferraris this morning do seem to be the car to beat. They have the straightaway speed, and they do all right in the turns. Track temperature has dropped to 94 degrees. That is the coolest the track has been all morning long. Liable to see some very fast laps here this morning. Oh, a little chaos. Rudolph Gunther had a little problem there. Drifts back to 7th. Adam Barker moves up into 6th, right on Simon Zierk's bumper. As Giancarlo trying to attack to the inside on the front straightaway. Dylan able to just power away, but as they go off into 1, Giancarlo brakes really late. And a close battle. Yannick Gunther slips back. Might have been some contact between him and Simon. Hey, good morning, Cowboy. Andrew Lau now up to 7th place. Setting his sights on Rudolph Gunther in 6th, Simon Zierk in 5th. Giancarlo, after completing the pass to take 2nd place, has pulled a 1-second gap on Steinbach. Adam Barker back in 4th, closing the gap on Dylan now. Giancarlo now to 2nd, 2.9 seconds behind Harry. We saw Harry charge back through the field after his lap 1 incident in race number 1. Already pulling a gap here in race 2. Oh, great job, Cowboy. You've got to be getting close, buddy. Yannick Gunther back in 8th, following Andrew Lau now in 7th. Rudolf Gunther in 6th. Wow, Rudolph really closing the gap on Simon Zierk now. Harry's lead has started to shrink. It got to just over 3 seconds. Hey, good morning, Scott. Hope you're having a great morning, bud. Giancarlo now starting to reel the leader in 2.4 seconds back and closing. Adam Barker has now moved to 3rd, though. Simon in 4th, but 5th place on back. What a battle as Andrew Lau is now battling for 5th. Rudolf Gunther, Andrew Lau side by side. Dylan Steinbach right behind Lau. Oh! Dylan in the Mercedes has to get on the brakes much earlier than everybody else. Almost had a collision with Yannick. For the moment, Rudolf Gunther able to hold off Andrew Lau. Giancarlo continuing to reel in Harry Volsmir. The gap now 1.8 seconds. And closing quickly. We've seen Harry back out of the throttle in the past, let the tires cool so he can get back on the attack. Could that be the situation? Last time by was his slowest lap since the start of the race. And Giancarlo in 2nd just set the fastest lap so far. 0.7 of a second faster than the leader. Adam Barker back in 3rd, reeling him in. Simon Zierk in 4th. Rudolf Gunther in 5th, still holding off Andrew Lau. And look at this. Richie Joplin just broke into the top 10. We knew in race 1, Richie had a very fast pace this morning. But he started a lap and a half down. Looks like he is going to fight back in this one as he sets his sights on 9th place Dylan Murray and 8th place Dylan Steinbach. Really surprised to see Steinbach here in the Mercedes this morning. Last week at Algarve, Dylan was in the Porsche. In fact, that was a Porsche heavy race. Of 13 cars, 10 of them were the Porsches. Adam Barker continuing to try and reel in Giancarlo, 1.5 seconds back in 3rd. Giancarlo now 1.5 seconds behind the leader. And it does appear Harry has cranked her back up. Rudolf Gunther, Andrew Lau, Yannick Gunther still nose to tail, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Dylan Steinbach in 8th, Dylan Murray in 9th, Richie Joplin in 10th. Cody Kennedy now back in 11th. Callie Evian started from pit road. He is up to 12th. Brian Hewitt currently running in 13th. Ryan McDaniel in 14th. And Nicole, that's what she sent Creasel in 15. Despite the fact the top 7 were inverted coming into this race, a lot less, let's say, excitement on lap 1. But man, the racing has been nuts. Giancarlo has closed the gap to less than a second, now 7/10 of a second behind Harry. Adam Barker is reeling in the leader as well, and reeling in second place Giancarlo. Simon Zierk back and forth, about 2.5 seconds back. Rudolf Gunther holds 5th. We saw Andrew Lau make the attack on Rudolph earlier, but has not been able to mount a second attack yet. Harry Volsmir, looking in his mirror, sees a purple Porsche driven by the champ, Giancarlo. Giancarlo all over the back bumper of Harry Volsmir. As we heard Giancarlo say between the races, though, that Ferrari has the advantage on the straightaway, even if he sits inches off of Harry's bumper. That Ferrari just pulls away on the straightaway. Giancarlo trying to set up as they go into turn 1. Still unable to do anything with them. Rudolf Gunther sitting in 5th has started to reel in 4th place Simon Zierk. Still adjusting to the fact that Simon is in a Ferrari after multiple seasons in the BMW. It is taking a little getting used to. Rudolph picking up the pace, continues to reel in Simon Zierk. Adam Barker has now caught the back bumper of Giancarlo, but Harry Volsmir has started pulling away again. They will still need to make a stop for fuel. Likely we'll see everybody changing tires as well. Adam Barker did tell us last week that with the way things are set up now in this new season, the length of time it takes to fuel the car, you might as well take tires while you're at it. Unless you're going to take a reduced fuel load, everybody likely to take tires here, as Brian Hewitt has had a problem. Oh, Hewitt gets a little loose. A lot loose, ends up hard into the outside wall. That is the first time we have seen someone have a problem coming through there this morning. Brian has gone to pit road to get his car repaired. That will also likely be his fuel and tire stop. Adam Barker still staying within striking distance. Giancarlo is pulled right back up to Harry's bumper. Brian Hewitt is up 4 tires, fuel, and repairs, and already rolling away. Harry continuing to hold Giancarlo off. Can he do it for the remainder of the race? Adam Barker, though, is closing in. Pit stops could shake up these top 3 spots. Simon Zierk back and forth. Rudolf Gunther still holds on to 5th. Has put some breathing room between him and Andrew Lau. As Yannick Gunther now in 7th place on the attack on Lau. Richie Joplin has just taken 8th place from Dylan Murray, up 7 spots. Richie continues to attack and trying to reel in Yannick Gunther, Andrew Lau, and Rudolf Gunther. Meanwhile, the top 3 still very, very close as Adam Barker. Oh, look at this. Harry trying to break the draft on the front stretch. Adam Barker gets a big run into turn 1. He has caught him. Simon Zierk back and forth has started to reel in the top 3. Now 2.5 seconds back. Rudolf Gunther in 5th was reeling in Simon, but has lost a little bit of ground. However, he has pulled a 1.1 second gap on Lau. And here we go, the battle is on. Giancarlo briefly looked to the outside. As Cody Kennedy and Callie Evian continue to battle it out for 10th place. We saw this battle happen in race 1 as well. Evian definitely has the advantage in the turns due to the Porsche. Well, I appreciate the feedback, Sleeper. Top 3 still nose to tail. Simon Zierk holds on to 4th. Rudolf Gunther has started gaining ground once again. Callie managed to take the 10th spot back from Cody Kennedy for the moment, but now Cody back to the outside. Dylan Steinbach just completed the first of the scheduled pit stops. He is on his way back out in the Mercedes. Hey, good morning, Peg. Thank you. We will definitely be double checking our volumes before tonight's broadcast. Simon Zierk in fourth, was reeling him in. Looks like he might have gotten an off track and a slowdown. Adam Barker currently sits in third place, still nose to tail. All three drivers within 0.8 of a second. This may come down with the matching lap times, the matching speeds. These three may very well come down to pit stops. And it doesn't appear the slowdown has bothered Simon Zierk one lick. He is now within 2.1 seconds in closing. Closing rapidly. Now under 2 seconds as they head toward the front straightaway. Simon is on the attack. Giancarlo has come to pit road, the first of the leaders to come in. Adam Barker has taken the lead as Harry takes second. Let's take another look at this battle for the lead. Giancarlo down to the apron. He just shot by. Adam Barker was right behind. He shoots down to the bottom and gets a big run out of the final turn to take the spot from Harry. It almost appeared like Harry may have slowed down there. But Simon Zierk has caught up. Nicole, that's what she said. Kriesel pulls off track, letting the leaders go by. At the halfway point, Adam Barker has the lead over Harry. Harry is losing ground. Did he overheat the tires? We saw right before Adam and Giancarlo caught him, he had slowed down for a lap or two. Likely to cool the tires off to be able to fight his way forward, but he might have used them up at this point, battling with those in the top three. Andrew Lau back and forth, has finally gotten past Rudolf Gunther in fifth. That was an ongoing battle. Let's take a quick look at that pass. This battle had been going on for quite a while, but through that first sector, Lau manages to get the run and finally just outbrakes, able to drive just a little bobble there under braking, but finally gets past Rudolph. That battle had been going on for quite some time. Rudolph not going to give it up here easily. He is staying with Lau for the moment. Giancarlo has completed his stop, now out in 8th place. Has gone by Dylan Murray. Dylan appeared to have had a problem. Same thing we have seen so many times this morning. Coming into that turn, you try and carry so much speed as you head for the front straightaway, and he ended up going a little too far. We have seen that move countless times over the course of both races this morning. Hey, good morning, Tina. How are you? Adam Barker still has the lead. Simon Zierk has moved into second. Harry just drifted back into third. And I have to wonder what is going on with Harry's car, as Brian Hewitt appears to have had another problem. Hewitt looks like coming up through the S's. Oh, just loses the back end. Gets it off the track quickly before the other drivers get there. And has to bring it up that hill through that grass. That is not easy to do. Adam Barker still out front. Simon Zierk in second. Harry in third. Lau now up to fourth. Yannick in fifth. Giancarlo, the only driver from the top five that has completed a pit stop, has now moved up into sixth. Richie Joplin, who started back in 15th, is now up to seventh. Dylan Murray now up into 8th. Callie Evian in 9th. Cody Kennedy in 10th. Rudolph Gunther completing his pit stop now in 11th. Right in front of Dylan. Steinbach in 12th. And Ryan McDaniel holds 13th as the leaders come by. Gotta give it to Ryan and Dylan, both drivers having just bought the track today. This is their first time seeing it, as Evian has had a problem back behind. Looks like in those tight, twisty corners, so easy to do, little too much braking. And that back end will go around on you. Too much braking, too much power through this section of track, especially when it's as greasy as it is today. Problems will happen. Dylan Murray and Callie Evian both on pit road. Adam Barker's lead now growing to 1.7 seconds, but remember, he has not completed his stop yet. Simon Zierk in second. Harry Volz. Oh, Simon's on. Simon is on pit road. Harry continuing to stay out. Andrew Lau now moving up into third place. Richie Joplin has given up 7th. He is on pit road, 4 tires and fuel. Cody Kennedy now headed down toward pit road as well. The top 4 still have not been to pit road. Giancarlo, the highest running car that has completed his pit stop. He is now in 5th, 21.7 seconds behind the leader and closing. Adam Barker continuing to stay out here. Harry Volsmir continues to stay out. Andrew Lau is going to continue to stay out. Will Yannick Gunther come in? Oh, looked like Yannick was going to come in and changed his mind at the last minute. You saw that little bit of a twitch. I have to wonder if these guys are stretching the fuel, that we're going to see these guys take only 2 tires or maybe no tires if they can get away with just a splash of gas. That might be Adam Barker, Harry Volsmir, and Andrew Lau's best chance to keep that gap on Giancarlo. Giancarlo back in 5th is closing the gap. On 4th place, Yannick Gunther. Yannick has not been to pit road. Giancarlo just over 4 seconds behind. And Harry Volsmir gives up 2nd. He is in. Adam Barker also on pit road. Andrew Lau is coming in as well. And it looks like Rudolph Gunther is coming in. He is behind Ryan McDaniel. Ryan moves over, lets Yannick get by, and Giancarlo is coming by pit road. He takes the lead. Adam Barker has had a problem. Looked like he was on his way off pit road. Let's see what happened. Adam gets it rolling, hits the pit lane exit, and gets on the gas. The car just goes around on him. Harry able to slip back by. Cold tires, hot track. After pit stop cycle through, Giancarlo has the lead. Simon Zierk in 2nd, 7.5 seconds back. Harry Volsmir now has 3rd, just half a second behind Simon. Adam Barker in 4th, 1.3 seconds back. Andrew Lau has now moved into the top 5. Simon Zierk about to have his hands full, and it has gone from a Porsche heavy top 5 to a Ferrari heavy top 5. We've got a Porsche out front, driven by Giancarlo, then Simon Zierk, Harry Volsmir, Adam Barker, and Andrew Lau, your top 5. Those last 4, all in Ferraris. Yannick Gunther, Rudolf Gunther, the 2 other Porsches, 6th and 7th. Richie Joplin in a Porsche in 8th. Dylan Murray in a Ferrari in 9th, and Cal Evian in 10th in the Porsche. Harry Volsmir has had a problem. Harry was running in 2nd place. Let's see what just happened, or 3rd place. Let's see what happened. There's Harry, he was in 2nd, just getting by. Simon Zierk loses the tail, slides off into the grass and loses several positions. Oh, he can't get the power back down to take off. Lau gets by. Harry slipped from 2nd back to 5th. Giancarlo now in the lead. Simon Zierk back in 2nd. Adam Barker in 3rd. Andrew Lau in 4th. Harry Volsmir in 5th. However, as we mentioned in race 1, and we talked about it to Adam Barker, Harry has been the comeback kid a lot last season and already in this season. Today is Harry's first race of the season. Harry has another spin. Yannick gets by. Rudolph gets by. Harry slips back to 7th. A heartbreak for a guy who led the first half of the race. Those back tires appear to just be toast. Wow, a heartbreak for Harry. Harry has gone back to pit road. Will he be up for tires this time? He is up. He will be getting fresh tires on it this time. It is slick. Snow tires is not a bad idea, Peg. Interestingly, track temperature has continued to drop. Now, the drivers did say in practice the track was greasy. However, practice started at 115 degrees, finished at 107. Qualifying was at 114 degree track temperature. Race 1 at 103 degree track temperature. And now race 2 down to 86 degrees. You have to wonder if on that first pit stop for Harry, he took front tires only to try and get off pit road a little quicker. Harry still sits on pit road back in 12th place. Is he going to come back out? Giancarlo up front as of right now will extend his points lead. Adam Barker second in points. Back in third, Simon Zierk, though, big points day for him. He came into the day seventh in points behind Sorensen and Mike Dolling. He is going to make up a lot of ground. Both Sorensen and Dolling not here this morning. A lot of drivers starting to have problems. Ryan McDaniel, Nicole Kriesel have both had little off tracks, likely due to the temperature, or likely due to the greasy track. Brian Hewitt also had the problem earlier. Adam Barker had the problem getting off pit road. Despite the cooler track temperature, it does appear this track has stayed slippery. Simon Zierk currently runs in second. Adam Barker in third is closing the gap on Zierk, but Simon is 8.7 seconds behind the leader. Andrew Lau now in fourth. Yannick Gunther in fifth. Rudolph Gunther back in sixth. Rudolph is closing the gap, though, on Yannick. Last time by, Rudolph was the faster Gunther by quite a bit. The drivers were talking during pre-race about the fact Rudolph Gunther has become the fastest Gunther this season. It'll be interesting to see once all three Gunthers are back out on track together who's the fastest. As Adam Barker just set the fastest lap of the race. 1:34.03. 0.2 of a second faster than Giancarlo's fastest lap. Giancarlo feeling safe. He's got an 8.5 second lead at the moment. Simon in second, Adam in third, trying to take that second place spot. Andrew Lau currently in fourth, Yannick Gunther in fifth, Rudolph Gunther in sixth. Giancarlo likely to get the white flag next time by. Time will tell for sure. Did not see Barney with the white flag this time. Giancarlo's lead is shrinking. Simon and Adam have closed within 8 seconds. Just not going to be enough time. They need Giancarlo to make a mistake. And that is something that does not happen often. Rudolph Gunther is caught back up to Yannick after pit stops. Richie Joplin, after starting race 1 a lap and a half behind, comes into race 2, starts in 15th, now up into 7th. Dylan Murray currently holding on to 8th. Callie Evian in 9th. Cody Kennedy back in 10th. Dylan Steinbach in 11th. Brian Hewitt 12th. Ryan McDaniel now to 13th. Nicole Kriesel in 14th. And Harry Volsmeer does not appear to be coming back out. Andrew Lau back in 4th, likely going to hold that position. Yannick Gunther holding 5th for the moment, but Dad right on his bumper. Giancarlo's lead pretty secure at this point. Simon Zierk, though, in 2nd, has his hands full with Adam Barker. Last time by, Simon Zierk and Adam Barker's lap times, though, almost identical. Rudolph Gunther looking for an opportunity to pass his son. And I can promise you, if it was my kid in front of me, I'd give him a little bump. Andrew Lau back in 4th. White flag is in the air. This will be the final lap. Giancarlo's lead continuing to shrink, now 7 1/4 seconds. Simon Zierk and Adam Barker have cranked it up just a little too late. Can Simon hold Adam off for one more lap? Adam is on the attack. Giancarlo coming through the final turns. He swept last week in Algarve. Now he will win race 2 here at Interlagos. Giancarlo is back in victory lane here at Interlagos. Simon Zierk holds off Adam to come home in 2nd. Adam Barker coming home in 3rd. Adam, that was quite a race in those last few laps. You and Simon were closing the gap.
Yeah, I made a slight mistake going into the middle section. Got a little bit of a slide, and it knocked me 2 seconds back to him. So I was trying to catch back up again, and it was just too much of a deficit. It was a really good race, so Giancarlo super quick as normal. No answer to that pace today.
Well, he was super quick, but you were the quickest according to the numbers. You had the fastest lap of the morning when you were reeling Simon in.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay, yeah.
Well, great.
I was really on it. I was really trying there. I was 110% there, so leaving nothing on the track, but not quite enough for it.
Well, great job this morning, buddy. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Adam comes home in third. Simon Zierk back on the podium in second. And it does not appear Simon is available for interview. So we will talk to our winner, hopefully get a word with Simon here shortly. Giancarlo, back in victory lane. You swept last week and you get the win in race 2 here this morning.
Yeah, that was a bit of a battle. These Ferraris at a straight line were not making it easy, but we were able to get it in the end.
I have to ask the question, if Harry had not had the problems, did you guys have anything for him? You obviously reeled him in, but man, it was just looking like it was impossible to pass him.
Yeah, I mean, on track, both him and Adam, as we saw in the first race, it wasn't going to happen, which is why I decided to pit early. I think both him and Adam had issues in the pits or coming out of the pits, so I don't know. I don't know what it would have looked like. I just got fortunate with the strategy.
Well, it definitely paid off. It was a surprise to see the early pit stop, but it worked out perfectly, man. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, Doug.
Giancarlo continues to extend his lead. Great job, Ryan. It's always 13th with you, buddy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will double check the audio settings before tonight. You can tune in at 7:30 Eastern for the BRR Cup Series, and rumor has it there will be an HTSAI convoy this afternoon you're not going to want to miss. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope y'all had as much fun as we did. Have a great day, folks.